This morning I'm here with Claire, who's at the Auburn Outdoors. Who's just back from the Alps Divide, and we thought we'd have a chat about that. You've had a couple of weeks to reflect back in the real world, back in the lovely autumnal UK. Basically, autumn arrived whilst you were away.
Yeah, that was, I mean, that's
whilst
bizarre.
you were riding, the leaves started landing in my garden, basically.
It was bizarre to witness it, to ride through it, not only through different weather systems, but going quite naturally from August into September, as it were. We'd gone away in August. I felt like I literally rode into autumn, and that was bewildering and an amazing adventure as well.
So how do you feel now about your performance and your result of not racing? Come to terms with it now?
Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with it, which, as you know, is quite hard for me to say. I did sort of go the other day, I came second female at Mountains last year, albeit there were only two of us, and then I came second at Blenheim female, and now I came, ooh, that's quite exciting. I don't know if I can, obviously some people have done the what's next, which I have no designs on whatsoever. So yeah, I think that the thing that sits most uncomfortably is the fact that, you know, for at least the 8 weeks before it, I was a bit of a nightmare. I was a nightmare for myself. I was probably a nightmare for my partner, just worrying and stressing about the race, but also that was perpetuated by other things going on in life. But in terms of how did I actually handle myself when it started, and sometimes it's like, after watch, don't set myself off. I had moments where I sort of, it was like watching myself, and I was like, bloody hell, who are you? Like, how did you develop the ability to do this? And that gave me real confidence back that I'd probably lost around a few things, to say, like, when you get home, there's other stuff that you're like messing around with, stop it and get on with that stuff that you haven't been doing because you felt you weren't worth it, or you didn't have it. Just stop it now. It's really, it was really an incredible experience.
I certainly found that maybe with Mountains, because I entered that quite casually.
Yes, you did.
Last year, going
just casually slid in after I've been stressing about it all year.
I've already done 2 other races this year of like 1,000k. Let's go and do Mountains. That'll be a bit of fun, won't it? But then again, I casually entered it, and then we get to like the week before, I'm like, actually, I feel quite nervous about this. I don't know. But then what, you know, you do your planning, you do your thinking about it. There's only so much you can do, and once you get there and start riding, you're like, well, this is what we do. You know, not going to say day in, day out, but, you know, we've done enough of this. We know how to manage ourselves. Once you're in, not race mode, but event mode maybe, then you've only got that one thing to focus on. It's
our life is really simple in many ways by comparison.
Yeah. It's just like, where's my next food coming? Have I got enough water? What's the weather doing? Where am I getting to tonight? End of. Yeah,
life gets really simple. As my partner says, like, you can't think about your bills when you're crashing through the trees. Obviously, he goes a bit faster than us generally. But you know, there's a phrase in something I've been listening to for years that is, talent you have naturally. Debatable in my case, but talent you have naturally, skill is only learned by hours and hours of beating on your craft. And we have spent hours and hours, and I did spend hours and hours this year beating on my craft. And it's that thing where this was a big race, or a big event, you know, when 86 people or whatever move off and you've got a police escort and you go up the first climb, and I was literally after saying to them, just tap, let them all go. Because actually, if you have got that skill, that's not to say other people aren't skilled, but that little bit of you that's racing knows that you have a capacity to maybe go further when other people have either overcooked it or find themselves, unfortunately, with more challenges. And if you can chip at it,
I think over those kind of distances, unless you're planning to be at the front and want a placing, and you're going to watch the other people and see when they sleep and whatever, it almost doesn't matter. You follow your plan, adapt your plan to get you to the finish, and that might be faster or slower than somebody else at the end of the day. So jolly good. So did you achieve what you set out to when you entered? What did I write that down for? Why did you enter it? You entered it like, not to win it, not for racing, for the experience and to see the animals.
Yeah. I've got a lovely story about that. I have to try it to cry because I'd forgotten about it because it was way back on night 1, night 2. So in Tond, when we all bolted into hotel rooms, which was so early in the day as well, I think it was about 5:30 when I dropped into there, everybody was like, I'm done. I remember a guy from America just going, I'm in a box, I'm in a box. I don't know how to get out. It was carnage. And I actually stayed a little way up the road in Brea Saroya, which was great because it was en route. So it was nice because I just started that bit of stage 2. Anyway, I checked in. Lovely French guy. We had a bit of back into, and he said, you know, I wish for you that you will win this race. And they said, actually, what would you wish for you? And I said, I wish to do the best I can for myself and have an adventure. And he said, then that is what I wish for you, Madame Walkeden. May you go well.
Okay. I think we had an adventure for you.
I think so.
Jolly good. Cool. So final words for anyone considering Alps Divide or a similar adventure back to the bike show, however big that might be for them.
Yeah.
Especially the ladies.
Yeah. Yeah, so as you said, the National Cycle Show, I was privileged enough to get to speak to people a few times, and my talk was having an adventure, however small. The premise is the same. You know, we've come out to ride in pools today. However, whether you're starting or, you know, let's face it, sometimes at different phases in the season, or if we're not riding, we get glum and you have to start the process again. But for me, I have to find ways that feels like that adventure, but it might not be very big. And I know that will happen to me over the winter. So whether you're riding somewhere like this to have a coffee, maybe do a bit of gravel if you're not used to it, etc. You can, of an evening, find a hill to go and walk up, ride up, watch the sun go down. An extension of that might be then you bivvy out. Then you might, you know, go towards having a weekend away, etc. But think about what is it you want. You know, for me, it is about seeing lovely landscapes, fauna, flora, animals, etc. It's a huge part of my why. It's a huge part of, without getting into my career, what I advocate as a part of my day job. So it's so intrinsically linked to how I then take that into everything else I do. People say I'm quite a good storyteller. So how I translate is one of the joys of Alps Divide is that I've got this huge body of content within me that I relate back to when we think about leadership, how we lead teams, how we lead ourselves, our purpose in life, our why, how we keep ourselves well. So if I relate ultra sport to our 5 fundamentals of well-being, it's the same.
I'm getting sales spiel now.
Yeah, I have to sleep, I have to eat, I have to connect with myself, others, and
have pastries.
the world around me. I have to move, keep moving forward, however slow. And I have to have a routine, and by that I mean I have to have some anchors. So yeah, the reason I'm saying that is because I do this because it's intrinsic to everything else I do. It's genuinely what I believe in. It shows the world I believe in it, but it reminds me I believe in it as well. So yeah, it is about riding your bike. But
animals aren't one of the 5 pillars.
I would say they're part of connection.
Ah, okay. Oh, you don't connect with people, just animals.
The great thing about these events when you're out there is that no one can hear you talking to the animals, as you know I do. And there's nothing more glorious than when you're feeling really crap about everything. You know, you'd be like, hi, Mr. Marmot, so great to see you. Oh, hello, Ding-a-ling Moose. Thanks for the cheer. Every now and again, someone will clap to you and you're like, oh no. I did really enjoy teaching Guillaume, who, you know, I had back into with, such a lovely guy. The last time I saw him at that bakery at the bottom of the Crazy Zigzag, I taught him the getting ready dance that you and me do. Excellent. So I went out to my bike and naturally and he said, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing, Claire? I've been doing the getting ready dance, Guillaume. And he did the flossing thing that I can't do. Oh, very good skills. And I was like, that's rad. And that's my lasting memory of Guillaume. I did see him afterwards in the hotel.
Or you left him on a hill somewhere?
No, he left me. I had to let them go. There's a whole piece there around letting go. But actually, I will just say, to finish that, sort of racing, not racing because those boys were never racing with me, but Neil, Will and Gillam kept me honest, because I did push myself to sort of stay ahead of them. It wasn't racing for them, but it did keep me getting up the road, kept a bit of pressure on. And then when I let them go, or let it go, I didn't let them go, let it go for me, that last day I had this glorious sort of, like I just slipped into acceptance that this was doable, but actually it was just mine to enjoy, and the weather had calmed down a bit, and I just had the most amazing experience, like it was like being overwhelmed by gratitude. It was an amazing day.
Lovely. Lovely. So thank you for talking to us.
You're very welcome.
And the coffee and the lovely sunshine is out now. And somebody's brought their children out.
Yeah, we've got an almond croissant to finish.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the Alps Divide on Clare. Good job.